sometimes they can ask you to solve a quadratic. So written like this, z squared plus 2z plus 10 equals 0. And if they ask you to solve that and it has z's in it, you know if you put it into the calculator, it's going to give you an error, so you can't, okay? Now, it is asking for the minus b formula. As soon as you see x squared x number equals 0, you know it's minus b. Same for z squared z and number, okay? So still, you're going to do all the method of the minus b, you're just not going to be able to put it into your calculator. So a is 1, b is 2, and c is 10. And your formula is minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So from here, you just have to tidy up as much as you can. So this is 4 minus 40, and this is where the issue is. This is why your calculator won't understand it, all over 2. So that's minus 2 plus or minus the square root of minus 36 over 2. Okay, now we know in complex numbers, the square root of minus 1 is I. So you're going to change this to be the square root of 36 and the square root of minus 1 over 2. Okay, and that means our answer is minus 2 plus or minus square root of 36 is 6, square root of minus 1 is I over 2, and then 2 goes into each of them, so your answer is minus 1 plus or minus 3i. Okay, that's how you solve the minus b. Then they can also ask you to show that something is a root of an equation, okay? So for example, show minus 3 plus I is a root of z squared plus 6z plus 10. If you're asked to show anything is a root, all you do is fill it in instead of z, okay? So minus 3 plus I squared plus 6 times z plus 10, okay? And what should happen is you'll get on the left 0 equals 0 on the right, okay? So to square out brackets, you know you need to write it down by itself, okay? Minus 18 plus 6i plus 10 is 0. First number, second bracket, second number, second bracket, okay? So that's 9 minus 3i plus I squared minus 18 plus 6i plus 10. So that's 9 minus 6i, this is minus 1, minus 18 plus 6i plus 10 equals 0. So the minus 6i and the plus 6i cancel, and then you have 10 and 9 is 19, 19 take 1 is 18, 18 take 18 is 0, so you have 0 equals 0. So you've shown it's a root then by filling it in, as long as you get 0 equals 0. The last thing we're going to do is transformations, okay, and you just need to learn these off. So if you add two complex numbers, you get a translation. A translation means it just moves, okay? If I'm adding the same complex numbers to these points, they'll both just go the same distance, the same direction. That's a translation, okay? If I'm multiplying by a real, so by 2 or by a half, it's a contraction. That's if you're multiplying by something less than 1, or it's a stretch, you're stretching it. Okay, if I multiply by I, and this one's really important, it's a rotation anti-clockwise 90 degrees. Okay, you need to learn that off. So multiply by I, it's a rotation anti-clockwise 90 degrees. If you're multiplying by minus I, it would be clockwise. I squared, it would be 180 degrees. Okay, and that's complex numbers.